Good evening, family. Welcome. Hello, everybody. I know this is Super Bowl Sunday, so a lot of you may not be on. A lot of people may be watching the Super Bowl. So, welcome, everybody. This is Sunday, February the 9th. Ooh, it's a ninth day. No, is this the ninth? Yeah, so there's nine energy on today. This is also a 9 year. So it is February the 9th, 2025, and the time is 5:39 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What a coincidence. Welcome, family. So we're just going to go brief today into the news because a lot of people want to know what's going on with the Super Bowl. We've heard that a lot of things could happen during halftime. Check in, family. Hello. So let's get in and talk about just a few things. Welcome, family. I'm so happy to see everybody. We started at exactly 5:39 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as I said, this is a 9 year, 2025. 2 plus 2 plus 5 equals 9. And it is also February the 9th, which is a ninth day. 9 is a very significant number because it represents completion. It is the end of something and a beginning of something new, something else. Something wonderful. So we can see that we are in a very beautiful year, this being the 9. It is the destruction of the old and resurrection of the new. Also, during this year, manifestations are at an all-time high. So you're going to have a lot of beautiful, amazing energy coming in this year. You're going to have a lot of love energy coming in this year, a lot of peace, abundance, newness, and resurrection happening on this 9 year. Also, you're going to see a lot of energetic cleansing because 9 again is about the destruction of one thing and resurrection of something else. Additionally, this year, Venus and Mars are in alignment, and that's about death and rebirth. So, unfortunately, you're going to see the earth actually burning off a lot of old energy. And we want to make sure we're sensitive and we understand that people are going through a lot in Hollywood with the fires and Hawaii. It's just that energetically, it could be that a lot of karmic debt is being burnt as we usher in a new cycle. So again, 9 is about rebirth, family. So we're getting rid of all the old energy that earth has had to endure and bringing in all the wonderful energy. Okay, we don't want the energy that was serving us anyway. The things that were happening to children, things that were going on in Hollywood, the enslavement of humanity, all that has to be done away with. So what else is happening during 2025? It is the year of the snake. And the snake is actually the king and queen of seduction. Now, a lot of people are afraid of seduction energy or sensual energy, but seduction and sensuality actually creates life. And we're talking about rebirth, right? So the end of something and a resurrection of something else will take a lot of sensual energy. So everything is being magnified this year. So this year, you'll be able to attract a lot. The law of attraction is going to be so profound this year. Like, I don't know if you've already noticed it, but you can just think of something and you've been able to manifest a whole lot quicker than you were able to do in other years. And we're just in the second month. So you're going to see high vibrations, a lot of manifestations, things that you're thinking about is going to happen very, very quickly. So some people that are into certain type of works, and I know this, most people here are Christians, so I don't want to offend anybody, but if you are into beauty, cosmetology, certain rituals in order to usher in love and joy and abundance, this is a great time to do it because we're going into high manifestation. And remember, Venus and Mars are in alignment, and Venus is all about love and beauty and abundance. So get ready for a lot of amazing, juicy things to happen, as well as this being the year of the snake. Now, what do we know about snakes? Snakes are strategic, snakes are cunning, snakes are alluring, snakes are appealing, and snakes are also very patient. Okay. Snakes are calm, calculated, mysterious, emotionally attached, and strategic. And we can see some of that snake energy actually showing itself up in President Donald Trump, because he's been, strategic for those last 4 years of the Biden administration. And now he's coming out like doing a whole lot. And he's using the deep state's tools against them by creating a whole bunch of executive orders. But he's been very crafty, very cunning, very calm and collected about exactly how he was going to do this. And he's done a phenomenal job. So keep checking in, family. And before we go further into the podcast, and I'll be very brief today, I want to thank all of you who tuned in during the weekend and last Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and bless me with a Cash App blessing or PayPal. So I want to say thank you to Barbara Pittman, Milton Griggs, Cynthia Parker, Leah Whitmire, Norma Taylor, and Hawkins, and some of the others that I don't have right here. Oh, Sister Burrell, I can't remember your first name, might be Carol, sent me a PayPal blessing. So thank you so much for supporting my work, family. I love you all so much. So we were talking about how this is a year of high manifestation. It's a 9-year, a year of abundance, a year of beauty, romance, sensuality, prosperity, all these juicy things that is related to the number 9 and the snake. Now, the snake is also, unbeknownst to most people, the guardian of wealth. So there are times where I will wear a snake amulet, like I'll wear something on my wrist, my arm, or I used to have rings and necklaces, but it's offensive to a lot of people because unfortunately the snake's gotten a bad rap, in certain religions, mainly just Christianity. And I get it. The snake's been blamed for sin of the whole world. So, and that is one thing, but in other cultures, the snake is actually a time of deals with Kundalini energy, transformation, discernment, pursuit of higher consciousness, calmness, calculation, and the snake in ancient times were the guardians of wealth. So if you are into manifestations and rituals, then tap into your ancestors and figure out what you can do if you're interested in ushering in this energy or helping it along more quickly. But you can just think about those things that you desire to manifest, and they're just going to happen very, very quickly right now, family, because of the energy that's going on in the multiverse right now. So what else are we going to talk about? Keep checking in, family. I see you all. Yes, snakes represent wisdom. Absolutely. Absolutely. And a 9 is the number of completion. This is beautiful. Thank you for being in the house, Atlanta, New Zealand, and all the other family members. So one of the things I wanted to talk about is that we know that this is Super Bowl time, and the Eagles in the Super Bowl will be playing against the Chiefs. Now, if you've been following me for some time, I have said for the last 3 years that we can tell that the Chiefs on the land will win. And so we were able to foretell that the Chiefs would win the Super Bowl. And the way we were able to foretell that was because we know that this time of enslavement for humanity is up. It's over. And the time of the indigenous people not having access to their land, their resources, and their republic is up. So keep in mind that the deep state, the cabal, the Illuminati, the so-called elites, they do things in codes. Thank you for the Cash App blessing, family. They always send messages through the Super Bowl, NFL, sports, entertainment, halftime rituals, mainstream media news, false flag events, Black Swan events, and through some of the political speeches. So President Trump often speaks in codes as well. So we were able to tell 3 years ago, when we were looking at the times into which we were going, that the 400 years of the the original Aboriginal or indigenous people being enslaved. What's up? So for the last 3 years, we said that the Chiefs would win in the Super Bowl against the Eagles. The Chief represents the Moroccan Empire. The Chiefs represent the indigenous people. Who are the indigenous people? President Donald Trump told you the Native Americans are not the indigenous people on the land. They are Siberians that traversed here when they crossed the was it Bering Strait. So they're not the Aboriginal or original people or the indigenous peoples here. The people that are indigenous to America or the original Americans, according to the 1828 Webster's definition, and according to our genealogy, when we do our own genealogy, is the copper-colored races found here by Christopher Columbus, but now found here by the Europeans, but now applied to Europeans. So I'll say that again. The 1828 Webster's definition of American is the copper-colored races found in America by Europeans, but now applied to Europeans. So the copper-colored races are the people classified as Black. Unfortunately, we were prisoners of war, and our classification was changed from indigenous or Aboriginal or originals, or just simply Americans or Moroccans or Moors, the inhabitants of Turtle Island, Al-Marak, from indigenous to Negroid, colored, Black, then colored again, and African American. And that unfortunately was done to make the people who are the originals here forget who they were and to make them not remember who they were, who their people were, who their ancestors were, or that this was even their land. So then you had these bloodline families to create systems and paradigms and tell us that we were from, slave ships, that we would be forever a slave, and all these slave movies, and they just did a lot of things to try to make us forget who we were, not just by movies in Hollywood, but also through the Department of Education. Speaking of the Department of Education, I don't know if you all know that President Donald Trump said he's doing away with the Department of Education. He also mentioned he was doing away with the 3-letter organizations, the FBI, the CIA, and many other IRS and many other 3-letter organizations. This is very important information as the deep state is being destroyed. The central banking system, the Federal Reserve, and the United States Incorporated. So I brought up the Department of Education being eradicated because the Department of Education has lied to us all. They talked about slavery stories. They said that all Europeans were the ones that enslaved humanity, or they enslaved the copper-colored races here. And that's a lie. So President Donald Trump has systematically destroyed DEI programs, diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. President Trump, again, has gone against all of these governmental agencies. And he's able to do that because of the overturning of the Chevron doctrine by the Supreme Court of the United States. Someone said in the comment section of one of my videos that they'll believe it when they see it, and that the Supreme Court of the United States didn't make that announcement. But it's actually researchable. So what I would encourage people to do before we say it's not happening is actually just do your research. President Trump is being very, very transparent, and he's obviously using the tools of the deep state against them by using executive orders to put people in their place. And he's come at the forefront and had many different news media outlets where he's given speeches and said he's doing away with the Department of Education, he's downsizing the government, and that he is going to do away with the Internal Revenue Services and create the External Revenue Services. So all this is a part of him destroying the ego empire. That's why the Chiefs are playing against the Eagles. So this will be the Chiefs' third win. They will win the Super Bowl. The elite loves to do things in threes. So I'm just telling you, we've been able to call it every year, and I've been right. We've been right. I also told everybody during those games that happened in January, don't worry, it's going to come down between the Eagles and the Chiefs, because the eagle is the symbol of the Roman Empire. The eagle is also the symbol of the United States Incorporated. The United States Incorporated is the pseudo Roman Empire. It is the extension of the Roman Empire. Keep checking in, family. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, send the video on to different people. Let them know. We already know this over here. They're sending codes to let you know that the Eagles, the deep state, the United States Incorporated has come to an end. It is the whole empire has collapsed. It is defunct. It is bankrupt and insolvent. Another thing that we know is going to happen, and this information came out just a couple of days ago, yesterday, I think, and the day before, is that Elon Musk spent millions of dollars on ads, and allegedly he's going to expose a lot of what's been going on with United States aid or U.S. aid. U.S. aid is a money that was put into a fund to help foreign nations, all these nations across the world, and was supposed to help them to survive and thrive, to help them eat, to help them with crops, to help them if they have any type of catastrophes, to help these countries abroad if they have natural disasters. But in fact, what happened with the United States aid, and we reported on this, is that a lot of that money, under the guise of diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, was actually funneled to other countries to teach them about transgenderism, to do sex change operations, to pay for programs to get rid of the traditional family. Those DEI programs was also just wasteful money, just into programs that did not serve their highest good. For arts, for television programming, the funds went in for funding for the, what do you call it, JAB, the things that shut down the world. And as a matter of fact, we already know that Bill Gates has said at the 2012 Bilderberg Depopulation Program, or the population conference, that the best way to get rid of Africans and to get rid of indigenous populations was through depopulation programs using immunizations. And he was very, very vocal about that. He didn't just say that at the 2012 Depopulation Agenda Conference, but he said that, many times when he was giving news conferences and press releases. So we did a report the other day to talk about how President Trump exposed what was going on with United States aid. And he actually said he wanted it to come to a stop. He was halting all of that money. And he had stated that he was going to send all the workers back home. Now, since he said that, some people are saying that he put a halt to sending all the workers back home. Some of the U.S. aid workers will come back home, but not all of them. But that's probably just to flesh out a lot of things. And so we saw a lot of people abroad actually complaining that their money was being dried up. But then the counterpart to that is that with United States of America Corporation withdrawing their money and withholding their funds, now these nations can operate in their sovereignty because they have wealth. The reason why I brought up U.S. aid and how President Trump exposed all those things that was going on with our tax dollars through U.S. aid is because Elon Musk had said that he spent, about $4 million? And this money is supposed to be used during ads for the Super Bowl, or ads during the Super Bowl. And allegedly he's going to expose all the stuff that was happening with our tax dollars being funneled into U.S. aid for these foreign countries, and also some of that some of those tax dollars that was allegedly went to USAID was used to pay off mainstream media and the liberal agenda. They used that money to pay off the news reporters. They used that money for the Russiagate hoax. They used that money, our tax dollars, for money to do all sorts of things. So we don't know if Elon Musk has in fact utilized the money that he put into these ads. We don't know if he's going to talk about USAID funding and where that money went, because when you try to fact check it now, all of the mainstream media say it's a lie. But usually when mainstream media facts check you and say these rumors are a lie, you know that there is some truth to it, and it's probably all truthful. So we'll see what's going to happen during the Super Bowl. Pay attention to the numbers. Pay attention to the score, because the score is going to be very telling. Pay attention to who's going to be playing at the halftime if you decide to watch it, because they'll all be dropping codes to each other. But if you decide not to watch it, we've already told you, spoiler alert, the Chiefs are going to win, because the whole empire of the Moroccans, the copper color races that were found here by Europeans, also known as the Moors, also known as indigenous people, all of that's being returned. The republics being returned, the Constitution for the republics being returned. And with that happening, then the treaties that we had with Europeans that came here all have to be honored. Unfortunately, a lot of people that came here did not honor the treaties. But we have to operate in honor, because there are 5 tenets of our doctrine or of our empire. That is love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And somebody can correct me. Love, peace, truth, freedom, and justice. So anybody that remains here in America will have to abide by those tenets. Unfortunately, for some people who came here unlawfully, they have to go back home. Unfortunately, according to how they may feel. But that could be good for them, because we know through Nasara and Jasara, they will be paid and compensated when they go back home. There was an article that came out today that I want to show you right quick. But before I do that, Halftime Show is a program. Absolutely. I don't blame you. I stopped watching it too. Okay, 30 minutes before the Super Bowl starts. Okay, I'll hurry up. I'm going to show you an article that just came out today about Trump, but I don't know if you guys have seen this statute that was lifted up in New York City. Soccer fans had put up the statute and they gathered around it. The clip said soccer fans gathered around a massive 12-foot tall bronze, 1 + 2 = 3. Remember, they like threes. Soccer fans gathered around a massive 12-foot tall bronze statue of Cristiano Ronaldo in Times Square to honor this person. Notice that he is gold or copper colored. Tell me what you see here. Tell me what you see here. Can you see any type of ritual being done here? Any codes being dropped? You see him with his finger right here. This happened a couple of days ago leading up to the Super Bowl. Like, shh. They're dropping codes and they're spilling secrets. Look at the colors, red and green, the colors of the Moroccan Empire. Look at the fact that he is a melanated man. He is an indigenous person. He is, again, copper color. He's gold. We're moving to the gold standard. And know that New York City is known as the Empire State for a reason. So we have the Empire State Building there. Some people will say that at one time that was the capital of Morocco in New York, and that's why they call it the Empire State Building. Also notice that the last 2 plane crashes, well, not the last 2, but the first 2, the big ones, happened in Washington, D.C., which is the capital of the Eagle Empire, the capital of the Roman Empire. Remember, the eagle is the symbol of the Roman Empire. You can look it up because it's a very predatory animal. That's why they chose that one. The first crash was between the Black Hawk. By the way, my great-grandmother's maiden name is Hawkshaw. Hawkshaw. Hawk and Hawkshaw, those are indigenous names, indigenous to this land. So it was a Black Hawk helicopter that collided with American Airlines. Americans were filled with Russians. Unfortunately, we pray for the families. So, Siberians, Russians. Native Americans are Siberians. They're not real Americans. Interestingly, the Black Hawk plane, which is a military plane, also representing indigenous people, collided with American Airlines that was filled with Russians. Y'all correct me, are Russians considered Siberians? Collided with them, crashed into the freezing water, into the Potomac River in Washington, D.C., the capital of the old empire. And that happened. The Potomac River is an indigenous name near, was it, where's that? Morgantown. These elite people don't care about the loss of life. They don't care about catastrophes or casualties. They were sending codes, which very visibly, they were sending codes to each other. The second airplane went up to 1,400 feet. For those of you who know, if you know, you know, 14 represents white supremacy. 41 represents king. And I have to give honor to my gentleman friend, one of my friends, the Moors, who taught me about some of these numerological codes and what they mean. You're going to see a lot of 14s, 41s when you pay attention. There might even be a score that's 41 tonight. 14 represents white supremacy. 41 represents king. Kings, as in the Moroccans moving back to their status as king. This is snake energy. You're going to, the snake is the king, over the king and queen of prosperity, all type of things. So white supremacy is not necessarily about race. White supremacy is an ideology that has to do with supremacy. And they will tell you that it was about Caucasians or pale complected people having supremacy over one group of people, mainly the indigenous people. But when you know history, you know that the first people that were considered white were actually the original people here, because white and black are actually statuses. Okay, it has nothing to do with necessarily nationality, ethnicity. It's a status. White supremacy, supreme status, being over everybody, being the ruler. Black was a status in law that means you have no legal standing, you have no status, you are a slave, you do not count. So when you know how they operated in history, historically, when Europeans and the Moors came here, bringing the Europeans here, some of them say they brought some of their slaves, they brought some of the people from prison here. When the brutish Moors or British came here, they acknowledged the people on the land as having white status because they were viewed as free, supreme, being the owners of the land or the stewards of the land. And the people that they brought, they considered them having black status because they literally had no standing in law. The people that they brought here colonized or were able to settle. I like the word settle better. They settled in New England, that New England area, and they became known as the settlers. And they were acknowledged as having their own nation, their own thing. And this is why Obama and Trump, but especially Obama, notably said the Moroccan Empire was the first to acknowledge us as our own nation. What did he mean by that? He meant when the people came from Europe, and they settled in the New England area, they were literally recognized as having their own nation. They had their own laws, they had their own flag, their own symbols, and they were doing trade and commerce. And according to some documents, the people on the land had peace treaties with them. Well, allegedly, the Moors that brought them here, allegedly, are the ones that switched things up and said, okay, no longer do the pale people have black status, but we're going to give them white status, and we're going to put them above the indigenous people here. And we're going to give the indigenous people black status of slavery, because we were, what you call it, prisoners of war. Why is it that the European Moors did that, flipped things? Because according to some historical books, the Moors that came here, the Moors, meaning tawny, dark people, they got kicked out of 1492 out of Europe. They came here and warred with the Moors here, the original people here. During these clashes, during these wars, they said we can use the Europeans that we brought, that we had our sex slaves. We can bring the ones that came from prison, and we can put them over the indigenous people. Okay. And then we can flip things around, and we can completely control America. As time went on, they changed our classification from indigenous to black to colored to African American, et cetera, in order to keep up this propagation that we were not the original people here. So I know it's a long way of just saying things, but now the whole time of them enslaving the indigenous people here has come to an end. And that's why the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl tonight. They're just sending codes to each other. So what was that second plane crash? As the plane had ascended to 1,400 feet. 14 is the number of white supremacy. White supremacy is over. That ideology that somebody is more superior than the others. What did these people do? They brought in ideology that so-called black people came from slave ships, that, all Caucasians were slave masters. I don't know why people keep calling when I clearly declined to call. All of that, and infighting, racism, saying that one race was above another, that has all been done away with. That's why Trump has to do away with diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. So the plane went up to a certain feet, and then it crashed. And where did it crash? In Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And what was Philadelphia, Pennsylvania? It is the capital of the Moroccan Empire, or the capital of the Republic for the United States of America. All these things are statutes. Not statutes. All these things are codes. And this is how the elite talk to one another. Somebody said the Eagles will win. We'll see. So what else is in the news? Okay, thank you. I'll bring that up. I'm sorry. I didn't know this statue was up there. That picture was up there the whole time. I wanted to show you an article. And I know you guys want to see the show, so let me hurry up. Here's an article that came out on February 9th. As Trump targets the Pentagon, Elon Musk is a great master at this rare talent that could transform defense, former Navy Secretary said. What? Yes. President Donald Trump has signaled that he is about to unleash Elon Musk and his Doge team on the Pentagon. Former Navy Secretary Richard Dancing says the Defense Department needs a transformation. After targeting federal agencies like USAID and the General Services Administration, Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, also known as Doge, is about to take on the Pentagon, according to President Donald Trump. In a Super Bowl interview, Trump told Fox News that Doge digs into the Education Department, the Defense Department as well, which has an $850 billion budget. Let's check the military, he said in a teaser clip that aired Sunday ahead of the big game. We're going to find billions, hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud and abuse. And the people elected me on that. Similarly, Trump's national security advisor Mike Waltz told NBC's Meet the Press on Sunday that everything there seems to cost too much and it takes too long and delivers too little to the soldiers, while brushing aside questions about potential conflicts of interest with Musk and the defense contracts that SpaceX has. For decades, multiple administrations and lawmakers on both sides of the aisle have tried to reform defense spending, decrying the slow pace of acquisition and high costs while pointing to egregious examples like the infamous 1,400 toilet seat lids. I told you, look for the number 14 and the number 41. 14 represents white supremacy, 41 represents king. Now that I've told you that, you're going to start noticing 14 and 41. In a Washington Post op on Thursday, he pointed to a dismal truth revealed by the Pentagon effort under the Biden administration to procure cutting-edge drones, noting that it took place outside the usual bureaucratic channels and instead via the Defense Innovation Unit. Also in the news is that allegedly Donald Trump's tariffs could cause a stock market collapse. So, these people will come up with any excuse to tell you why the stock market could collapse. But we've been knowing for a long time that the stock market will probably collapse because the dollar, the United States dollar that was attached to the Federal Reserve, the central banking system, and the United States Incorporated is coming to a screeching halt. When the United States dollar collapses, everything attached to it will also collapse. So what this article says here is that President Trump has done a great job. Well, they won't say great. They said he's been very quick and swift to issue out a lot of tariffs. And he's made a lot of deals with different nations. But what they'll say is on a front end, it looks good, but on the back end, it could affect the market. And the reason why they're saying this is because anything geopolitically, all geopolitical news, presidential elections, anything that goes on in politics affects the markets and it affects investment. So you just have to know that. And so they will often use anything, a presidential election, and say it's affecting the markets, any type of agreements or disagreements that will affect the markets. But I'll put this article for you in the description section, and it basically says that, or asks, will President Donald Trump's new sweeping tariffs cause a stock market crash? History couldn't be any clearer. And they'll say that a lot of times in the past, if you put tariffs on other countries, it will affect the stock market. So I'm just going to leave that for you in the description section for you to read. Also, I left something in the description section of my video from yesterday. And what I left you was a list of all of the FTC or Federal Trade Commission collection agencies that were banned. And the reason why I did that is because there are rumors circulating that the collection agencies were put on notice to cease and desist. Interestingly enough, family, when I reported that, people came under my last two videos and they said it's true that they received letters in the mail saying that their debts have been canceled. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this, but the other day I showed you a Zero Hedge article that said that we were about to receive a debt jubilee. And the article just basically says that historically, and whenever a nation reached a debt ceiling and the debt became insurmountable and they couldn't really manage it, then what they would do was they would have a cancellation of debt. And they said that this is the way that, many governments have operated. And so according to this article, we can see it about to happen now. So this came out December 24th, 2024. And it says a debt jubilee of biblical proportions is coming. Are you ready? When Janet Yellen said that we had reached a high debt ceiling and that, we had to take extraordinary measures. We have to do something. She was saying that we should actually raise the debt ceiling. But smart economists, not Keynesian economists, we appreciate them. But there's another Austrian economist said the best thing to do is actually have a debt jubilee. Completely wipe out all the debt. So before we end, I'm going to show you the 2 videos that I did. And I'm going to show you testimonies, receipts of people saying that their debt was canceled. These are the 2 videos I would love for you to watch here. Breaking, Jubilee incoming, collection agencies must stand down. And this one here, it was prophesied that you will have wealth. Here, I just give scriptures. I know everybody's not a Christian, but, you know, America is a Christian country. I was ordained, you know, years ago as an evangelist, and I am a prophetess, just meaning that the ancestors and the universe, the creator gives me information. You all get this too, downloads, or your spirit resonates with certain things. And sometimes you're able to foresee things or foretell things. So here in this video, I was just proclaiming that we're all going to be wealthy. And I showed proof of that in the scriptures. But underneath the comment section, there were people saying, Kia, you were right. The other day when you talked about debt collectors being told to stand down, I've received letters of cancellation of my debt. So here, I'm going to show you this right here. Hi, family. Where I said collection agencies must stand down. Federal Trade Commission banned debt collectors list was included. So I told some people you can email me, or if you know me, you can call me and I will send you that list. But what I did is said, I'm just going to put it in the description section for everybody to see. So nobody has to call me for it. And I want to see if we can read some things right here. Some people say they haven't experienced it. Here, I don't know if y'all can see me. I just want to show you receipts that is happening for some people. Oh, man, I don't think y'all can see it because the screen is so small. Here, B. Palmer says, we had our student loan canceled out a few weeks ago, $27,000 plus. I can't wait for the rest of my debt to be forgiven. God bless us all. Here, Stark Lowski says, Dr. Kia, yesterday my son got a letter from Credit Acceptance Corporation stating cancellation of debt. It was for a loan from 2016 in the amount of $5,965.33. And people are saying, thank you. Let's see. I thought I had another one. Oh, that's another one. Oh, people are saying they're getting tired. Okay, I just wanted to show you that. Let me see. There was another one under here. So I want you to go through all of these and see if you guys could see the receipts for yourself, because I know we're running out of time. Also, let me bring up the other one. I want you to see proof, family. Thank you for being in the chat. We have 863 people in the chat. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Oh, I need to stop sharing this one. Keep checking in, family. I see you at 622. Let me bring up the next screen, the next video that I did. Hold on. Has anybody else in the chat received a debt cancellation letter? There was another one under here. It's 6:23. Let me hurry up. Let's see. There was one or two under here. Keep commenting, family. Okay. Here's one right here. Dawn Thompson. I just want to say my best friend called me this morning to say her friend and neighbor just had a $6,000 credit card debt forgiven. A letter was sent to her from the creditor. We all don't live in the best area, but people around here are now becoming believers finally. So we have some proof, family, that is actually happening. That debt collectors were told to stand down and that we're receiving cancellation of debt. President Trump is on a roll. He's taking care of business. Things are happening. It feels like we're in a new reality. I don't know if you guys can literally feel the change. I can feel the death of the old system and a resurrection or a rebirth of a new system and returning to something glorious and beautiful. This is why President Trump said he would make America great again. So let me show you this band collectors list right quick, and I'm going to put it in the description section for you of this video, and I'll put it in the chat. All of the companies are not here. We expect it to grow. Show this to your family members, friends, family and friends, so that they can know that things are happening. I'll show it to you quickly. Here you go. Banned debt collectors. Here, the companies and people listed below are banned by federal court orders from participating in the business of debt collection. It says you can view the case number, you can view the order, and these are court ordered to be permanently banned. So this permanently prohibits the person or the company from participating in any type of debt collection or debt collection business. And it gives you a list here, the cases here, and the different orders. You can actually click the links and view them. It's in alphabetical order from A to Z. Beautiful list here. And again, there'll be more added to the list. And what I'll do for you, family, is I'll keep my eyes on that, and I'll just continue to do research until I get all of the debt collection companies that were banned. I have been called by like certain creditors saying, we'll give you an extension. You don't have to pay this month. We'll put it on the end of your loan, or we'll just give you an extension. All you have to do is tell us why you're not able to pay. I'm like, oh, okay. All you do is come up with a reason, economic hardship. Yeah, I'll say that when they're like, okay, that's it. Just sign this document. I'm like, okay. But there's always a remedy in place. That option has always been for automobile loans. If you can't afford it to pay your automobile loan, but you have made consistent payments, you can call the lender and ask them for an extension, and they will tell you don't have to pay that month and put it at the end of the loan. So, they'll put it at you might have a final payment at the end of the 3 or 5 years, however long your contract is. But what I see happening right now is that they are literally canceling out debts. Some companies will call you and say you can get an extension until President Trump makes a public announcement that is done away with. Good evening, darling. I like that, Kim. Kim said we're all brown. We're just two different tones. I like that. Divine Hazel says, I know two different men who do not know each other. Their bank accounts have been frozen and they no longer have access to their own money. I'm glad you said that. That's going to segue into a video I'm going to put up where I interviewed Andy Sheckman, the CEO of Miles Franklin Precious Metals Company, because he talks about banks being frozen. Family, bank accounts might be frozen. The ATM might stop working. The stock market could collapse because this was all foreseeable. There was a secret agreement between 209 nations to drop the United States dollar when triggered and go towards using gold for trade and using their own local currencies. It was told that when that happens, the dollar would come to a screeching halt, the dollar would collapse, and then you would experience what's called an ICE 9 scenario. An ICE 9 scenario means that everything would collapse. Everything associated with the dollar could stop. The stock market could collapse. That's why this article is just now coming up. But they're blaming it on Trump's tariffs because they don't want you to know that this has to happen. So it was foretold that once the dollar collapses, everything attached to the dollar would collapse. The stock market would collapse. The housing market would collapse. The automobile industry would collapse. Treasury bonds, the whole old system would collapse. Remember, we're in the 9 season, death and rebirth. the year of completion, the end of one cycle and the beginning of a new cycle. So it's going to happen this year, and we see it happening. So this testimony was right on time, that some people didn't have access to their funds. This is why I would encourage people, I'm not a financial advisor, but take some money out, leave it. What I told my family, leave enough money in the bank to pay your bills, take some out just in case things come to a halt, and it could be just temporarily. We don't know what's going on. And just to have some on hand. If you have constitutional silver or just regular silver, you want to have that on hand, or some gold backs or gold RM notes so that you can trade or barter with those. But if you don't have any money, any gold RM notes or constitutional silver, which is silver coins minted before 1964, before 1964, which really contains real silver in those constitutional coins that they erroneously call junk coins, they have 90% silver. Merchants recognize constitutional silver or junk silver as legal tender and as lawful money. So anytime you have some type of freezing funds, or you can't get to the bank and you have constitutional silver, you can use that to buy gas. And I have to say that recently that happened in, I can't remember, it was in Canada. In Canada, and I showed you all that video not long ago, they had a very bad snowstorm and people couldn't get to the banks. The banks had closed. For some reason, their credit cards weren't working, and some people couldn't even make it to the ATM machine for whatever reason. Maybe it was too far. I can't remember. So what they were saying in this interview on Liberty and Finance, which is a Rumble show and a YouTube show, follow Liberty and Finance. They give a lot of financial information. This gentleman who was being interviewed said that a lot of people couldn't get to the bank to get money out, and their cars had stopped working. But those that had constitutional silver actually were able to go to the gas station and buy gas. But if you don't have that, then you can barter. You can barter by using your services in exchange for something else. Thank you so much for the Cash App blessing. Who's that? I want to say thank you and always show my gratitude. God bless you, family. Creator bless you. Oh, Philip, thank you. Creator bless you all. Heaven smile on you. It is now 6:31. And may the Most High increase your territory. May the Most High and your ancestors, who will always look out for your best interests, bless you 1,000-fold for all the wonderful good things that you're doing for others and for each other. May this year be a year full of peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I am about to close. Somebody is saying the Eagles will win. Can't happen. I would say it won't happen because this is the era and the year of the Chiefs. The Republic is being restored, and the Chiefs and the indigenous peoples or the Moroccan Empire actually represents the Republic. And in fact, the Constitution for our Republic was based on Iroquois law. Iroquois, the indigenous people. Divine Hazel says, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video. Josh says, just thinking, once the debt Jubilee is officially announced, the RV, Nasara, or whatever name they decide to call it, the IRS taxes will also be done away with. They will be no more. Absolutely. It just makes sense that it all has to happen at once. Exactly. In fact, that's what I've been saying, because people kept saying, why haven't we RV'd? And I said, well, you have to wait until President Trump gets rid of the deep state. And he's been saying that was one of his campaign promises. I will totally obliterate the deep state. Once he gets rid of the deep state, using these executive orders, dismantles the ego empire, the Roman Empire, United States Incorporated, then the Republic will come back online. Then we'll return to constitutional law. So he has to do that, because if we went to exchange our currencies, if you have foreign assets, and went to the bank and exchange and became wealthy while these nefarious people are in place, they would just steal our money. Okay, and re-empower themselves. Well, you have to dismantle that system and replace the financial system, the SWIFT financial system, with the new one, which is the quantum financial system. We know that that's been done. We know that the Supreme Court of the United States also has ruled that now state-sponsored banks can operate independently from the Federal Reserve central banking system, and they can have their own charters, and now they can issue out their own gold-backed currencies. So we see all that happening, and now we see President Trump dismantling the deep state. So like you said, once that happens, then all these trillions of dollars will be injected into the global economy. We'll go ahead and we'll exchange our currencies, and things will start to sail smoothly. But it has to happen in divine order, in divine timing. Trump will announce that we are in a republic. Lay says, just hold on. Just hold on. Eagles 19, Chiefs 17. Is that what the score is going to be? So if the Eagles win, what are they trying to tell us? Because I would think that they want us to know that this is the time for the indigenous people. And the indigenous people actually represents all of us. It represents all the people on the land. It represents the republic for the people in America. And the eagle is the symbol of the Roman Empire and the United States Incorporated. So what would they be telling us if the Eagles won? Just let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are. Here you go. Right here, I wanted to show you this. Right here. Why has the eagle become the Roman symbol? And it'll tell you. I just want to let you know that the eagle is the symbol of the Roman Empire. And Philadelphia is the city of brotherly love, as well as the capital for our republic, where we have risen out of the ashes, absolutely like a phoenix. The suppressed people, the people on the land, us sovereign people, no matter what skin complexion you are, we have risen from the ashes, and the people who were prisoners of war, who are the indigenous people here, have risen from the ashes. And as Love Being Nubian, our moderator, has said, hello, sister, it's good to see you. If the Eagles win, we will be done. So we can't let that happen. If you guys want me to, we can come back on later, family, so we can discuss whatever happens. Divine Hill says, read the book Stolen Identity by John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. And he has a part 2. He just published a second book. We'll bring him on as well to talk about his second book. Okay. So John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr., also known as David Quigley, wrote a book called Stolen Identity that shares so much information about how the deep state runs and how his father was eliminated. Andreas asks, is Trump a part of the deep state? It depends on which frame of thought you come from. Some people say yes, some people say no. What we see and know is that the military, the Grand Army of the Republic, and these people in power are using him to take down the empire. He is the CEO and 47th president or CEO of the commander-in-chief of the United States Incorporated. And as such, he is able to dismantle them using their tools, the executive orders. So we also know that he participated in the inauguration on January 20th, but the inauguration for the Republic is actually March 4th. So there's so much they're not telling us, to be honest. We're only speculating here. So again, it just depends on which frame of thought you come from, which school of thought you come from, who he's working for. But I'll tell you what, I'm excited about what I see him doing, bringing down the deep state. Maybe he was a part of deep state. If you read John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr.'s book, he tells you what he knows about the original Donald Trump and how they have many Donald Trumps right now playing a role. So you'll have to read the book Stolen Identity. I don't want to get into what he says in the book because we've done videos on that. And I've also reviewed his book. It's on my YouTube channel and my Rumble channel. And we're going to bring him on to talk about his second book. You're not worried about seeing the game? She said, please don't leave yet. Okay. I thought maybe people would, want to look and see if they could find some type of codes. And then some people have told me my My podcasts are too long. So I want to honor those of you who, think I'm not respecting your time. But thank you, Love Being Nubia, because girl, I can go on and on, breaking things down, sharing my thoughts, answering questions, because I enjoy doing this. So the gold price right now is $2,868.46, and the silver price is $31.86. Let's see, when did gold reach an all-time high? I think it was just the other day. They're giving me old dates. Here's an article that came out a week ago that said there was a new all-time high. What was it then? 2,794. Well, shoot, it's higher than that now, isn't it? Let's see. 2,868. Wow. Gold may have just reached a new all-time high, family. Wow. Lay says 94%, 96.4% silver. Wow, for pre-1965 coins, silver coins, 96.4% silver. Wow, that's awesome. Divine Hazel says, remember, the halftime show is a program. If you watch, you will be programmed. Thank you, Divine Hazel. Do you think some people can watch it without being programmed? I'm just asking a question because I don't know. Some people, because to your point, programming goes into to everybody's subconscious mind. And it's up to each of us to have control over that, because human behavior is actually controlled and ran by 90%. Let's see, 90% of human behavior is controlled by your subconscious mind. Anything that's going on in your subconscious mind pretty much is what causes you to act certain ways. So if your subconscious is filled with filth, evil, wickedness, negativity, then it will guide your behavior. And you will have to dismantle or undo all of that programming and replace it with positive information, with love, with high vibrational frequencies, with joy, high vibrational music, with good people and good information. Yes, property taxes will be obliterated. All taxes will be obliterated, except for a flat rate tax on big ticketed items. All the debt will be done away with. And they're sending information out right now to let us know that, with even Zero Hedge coming out with the article that we're going to experience a debt jubilee. Thank you so much for the Cash App blessing, family. I appreciate you. For anybody wanting to support my work, my Cash App is $ Mama Kia 13. That's $ MAMAKIA 13. I appreciate you. Chiefs will win. Hi, Karen Sullivan White, my girlfriend from high school. Girl, I cannot believe. Somebody said, I just saw you live on Facebook. Hi, Lasana. I met Lasana from Liberia the other day. Hi, Lasana, if you see me. I went to an African market to get some yams. Some of you saw that dish I cooked with African Ghanaian yams, and I made garden egg soup, which is like an eggplant stew made out of these small eggplants with some collard, and on the side I made collard and kale greens with turnip roots, and I wanted a smoky flavor for those greens, so I put some smoked paprika in it, some onions, some garlic. Oh, that meal was amazing. And my garden egg soup, I had some eggplants, some garden eggs from Ghana, onions, eggs, garlic, ginger, and all type of seasonings, flavors, tomatoes. Oh my God. And I mashed up the garden eggs and I made it into a sauce. And then I made these Ghanaian yams on the side. They look like potatoes. They're white yams. You cut them up, and then I made them into circles. I boiled some and fried some, and oh my God, It was delicious. But I met Lasana there and he told me which garden eggs to get. So hi Lasana, he just texted me saying, I saw you on YouTube. He didn't know that I had a YouTube channel. So he's just sending me a message like, what? And when he saw my Facebook page, he's like, you got tens of thousands of viewers. Who are you? Like, are you popular? He's like, because he just saw this little girl coming in, this woman coming in. So I'm like, I need some food to make some African foods. I need to make some an African dish so I can reminisce on being back in Africa. And it was delicious too. I thought I had a picture. I didn't put a picture. I didn't put a picture of the food that I cooked on my YouTube channel. I thought I did. I'll show it to you right quick. Keep checking in, family. I'm not going to stay on too much longer. I know y'all have things to do, places to go, people to see. So let me show y'all this meal I made, child. My grandson is from Somalia. Well, his dad is from Somalia, so he's part Somalian. Ooh, child, I went salsa dancing last night. I had fun. I just scrolled past the picture. Some youngin' I was dancing with. Let me see if I can find this food. So, Lasana, you can see how delicious the food came out. Now I'm just talking, family. I know you guys want to hear more information about geopolitical news. We did talk about the other day Iraq. So Iran is being kicked out of Iraq. I don't know if you guys remember that Iran had called for United States troops to actually leave Iraq just last month, but now they've changed their mind. Now, because President Trump told Iran they need to stand down, they're saying, oh, we're sorry, we're not going to tell American troops to leave Iraq. We don't have no authority. And so President Trump actually issued the United States Treasury Department to oversee ensuring that Iran no longer control Iraq's financial system. So now that Iran no longer controls Iraq's financial system, and now they're leaving, Iran is leaving Iraq. Iraq is now free. So you want to look on my YouTube channel or my Rumble channel and see what I said about that, because now Iraq could very well change the rate of the Iraqi dinar, and that could go on the Forex soon. So can you see this, family? This is the food that I cooked. Oh, not that. Don't look at that on the left. I think my left. I'll be having all kind of people text me and stuff. Hold on. Dang it. I want to show you this meal I made. Wow, I lost it that quickly. Well, I just wanted to show you this meal that I made. It was phenomenal. Oh, can y'all see this? I went salsa dancing last night. That little youngin' wore me out on that dance floor, y'all. Oh my God. But I did pretty good. He was shocked by my merengue, bachata, salsa. And for my ladies, I would encourage you to do things to move your hips. Remember, this is a very sacred energy. Venus energy is coming in. That's about love, romance, passion. So manifestation. And a lot of us are having a hard time as women manifesting because we have a lot of trauma, a lot of angst, and a lot of anxiety built up in our system. Also, a lot of trauma is maintained and contained in our hips, ladies. That's why yoga is good. So I want to encourage you, especially during this high vibrational time, move your hips, do some yoga, Pilates, salsa dancing, bachata, merengue. Move those hips, move that belly, release all that tension. Woo, child. Hula hoop. Release all that tension and trauma and frustration, even the sexual frustration, all of that. See, they want you to feel bad about being feminine and sensual, but I am going to encourage you to release it. Stretch, do yoga, Pilates, whatever you have to do, move around. Unlock all that frustration and that tension. And you're going to feel so good. And that juiciness that comes with divine feminine energy will be released. Okay. And you're going to feel so much better. And people around you will feel better. There's so much I can talk about when I talk about that energy. And I'll come back at another time when it's just when it's just for the ladies, the gentlemen can listen too, but for the ladies, I want to talk about how we're moving into a high vibrational time where the divine feminine energy is now online and how we can help usher that in. We're going to have to start, having more fluid movements, being more soft, more sensual, more lovely, more divine, more juicy, all of those things that will just bring in and usher in divine energy, will usher in manifestation. It will draw your divine masculine to you. It will draw the good men that are providers, that desire to take care of you, that desire to wrap his arms around you. All when you learn to unleash and unlock all of that tension, oh my darlings, the things you'll be able to do, nothing will be able to stop you. All my married ladies, if your husband is frustrated, when you learn to completely unleash your femininity, when you learn to unlock that juiciness, when you tap into the orishas, okay, when you tap into your ancestors, the divine feminine, and you unmask all of that tension and all of that angst and the chaos that has been trapped in your body, you'll change him. He'll become more likely to protect you. I know he does it already. He will become less frustrated because there's something about feminine energy that draws the man to you. It makes the husband want to serve you. It makes the husband want to do whatever he can to please you. But you first have to learn how to lock into and tap into the divine feminine energy. That's for a whole nother podcast. Let me get out of here. So I was saying we had a great time salsa dancing. I am, for most people that don't know, yes, I'm from America, but also from my was going to show you the dish that I cook. So what I'll do instead is I'll put it in the community tab, on the community tab of my YouTube channel. So that's about it, family. It is 6:54 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to come back sometime this week, and I'm going to talk about this being the year of the snake, what that means for the divine feminine, how we can tap into our divine feminine energy to unlock the magic and potential that you have in you to bring about anything you desire, how you can tap into your sensuality. That's a side of me a lot of people don't know. I'm able to manifest and get anything I want. I go to restaurants, people pay for it, men pay for it. I go to shops, people buy things for me. People are just good to me because people love divine feminine energy. They love when you're tapped in to what I just call that juiciness, that essence that women emanate from them. This essence that's so luscious, so delicious, is sensuality, is passion, is beauty, it's sacred energy. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sister Valerie. I appreciate you. God bless you for sending me $20 here. I appreciate you. May God bless you with abundance and prosperity and peace. She says, we love you, Dr. Kia, and I love you too. I love you to life. So I want to talk about how this feminine energy is something that the creator gave us and the creatress, the ancestors gave us, because this essence that is soft and loving and luscious and sweet and pleasant moves men to action. Men love the opposite of them. Men are hard. Men are explorers. They're warriors. They like to fight. They like to provide. They like to protect. When a man sees the opposite of him and he sees it in an encasing that's soft, that's fresh. What I mean by fresh is that joyous energy, that bubbly, happy energy. When they see that encapsulated in a lady, it brings them literally, some of them, to their knees. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I mean, they just eat it up. They love yummy juiciness, sweet, pleasant things. So I'm going to talk about how when you let that ooze from your being, that your husband will start to do more for you. You'll start to get more gifts. People around you will step up and treat you kindly. They'll do things for you. Your children will become more obedient. The animals in nature will come up to you. The plants will bow to you. The trees will start to speak to you, because everything in nature, for the most part, it's masculine and feminine, but most things are feminine. Okay. The earth is feminine. Mother Nature is feminine. Now, of course, we need the masculine to mate with the feminine for procreation purposes. And we love the masculine. We don't discredit the masculine over here. We love everything about them. Their brawn, their muscles, their strength, their courage, their ability to bring order to our chaos. But ladies, once you tap in to that juiciness and you tap in to the softness and the nurturing side of you, then everything in nature will bow. So that's it, family. My name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. I hope I said something to raise your vibrations and inspire you to create the most amazing, magnificent life that you desire and deserve. I love you, family. Good night. Go and make this a great night, and we'll come back either later tonight or tomorrow morning. Peace. You're welcome. Many blessings to you.